Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Berkeley County Board of Education meeting this Tuesday, September 19th. This is the makeup meeting for Tuesday, September 12th, which was canceled due to inclement weather. I call this meeting to order. I declare a quorum is present and the media has been notified. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Wright, a second by Reverend Spann to approve the agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The agenda is approved. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next, we'll entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes for the regular meeting on August 22nd, 2017. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
There's a motion by Ms. Conder, a second by Mr. McQuillan, to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of August 22nd, 2017. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The minutes are approved. Next, we'll move on to Legacy Builders and Special Recognition, the National Beta Club Convention Award winners.
All right. Oh, yes, thank you. All right, good evening, Superintendent Ingram, Chair Wofford, and members of the board. I am here tonight to recognize our National Beta Club Convention Award winners. This summer, 3 of our high schools traveled to Orlando, Florida for the National Senior Beta Club Convention. They joined over 1,000 beta clubs from all across the country who came out to showcase the talents of their students. Berkeley High School, Goose Creek High School, and Stratford High School had teams and individuals qualify to compete in Florida, and they all made BCSD very proud. Of the 1,000 beta clubs that were there were over 19,500 participants, and we came back with some winners. So first, I will recognize Berkeley High School. When I recognize your school, if your students, your sponsor, and your principal appear, if y'all could go ahead and come up. For Berkeley High School, we had 5th place in Speech Division 1, went to Jordan Willie. We also had 4th place in Social Studies Division 2, went to Sierra Stewart. Sierra was unable to be with us tonight because she graduated and is currently a student at USC. Berkeley's Beta also received the People's Choice Award for the Senior Beta Club Convention. So congratulations to the Stags.
It's fine.
I would just like to thank the board and the district and the community for the support of our club and for allowing us to take so many students this summer, and for giving us the opportunity to travel and give the students that great opportunity. So thank you. Next, we're going to recognize our Gators from Goose Creek High School. Adriana Williams placed 1st in Agriculture Division 1. Hunter Tillman placed 10th in the top 10 for Math Division 2. And the Gators Beta Talent placed 5th overall at the National Senior Beta Club. So congratulations to the Gators. Oh, and I will mention Hunter is now a student at Clemson University, so that's why he couldn't join us tonight.
I got me some good weed from our school board. You gotta get it on with this.
This is your actual award you won first. Yeah. Okay. Megan. And then all right, Principal Washington, I can't see you. Go to the left. Go to the, no, my left, sorry. Towards me. Toward Ms. Walker. Okay, all right, ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
Hi, my name is Stevie Shirey, and I'm a science teacher at Goose Creek High School and one of 3 sponsors of our Beta Club. And this is the first year that our group talent group was able to go to nationals in a very long time, in at least 20 years since we've been able to do that. And they did a beautiful job. It's very hard at a Title I qualifying school to convince your best and brightest to compete at the state or national level and then ask them to work really hard to pay for that themselves. So kudos goes to all of these kids for not only stepping up to compete for their school, but also for paying their entire way themselves through fundraising. I would like to also mention that this year is 50 years of Beta at Goose Creek High School in 2018, and so we're very excited to continue building the legacy of Goose Creek High School's Beta Club. Thank you very much.
Okay, and last but certainly not least, we're going to recognize our Stratford High School Knights. The students who competed for them are also involved in their extracurricular activities, so they couldn't join us, but I still want you all to know about their accomplishment. They placed 3rd overall at the national level for the Fresh Look at Beta. That's a team event. On that team was Spencer Condon, Colette O'Neill, Emma Stockton, and Joseph Oler. And then for Spanish Division II, they had a 5th place with Ashley Rojas. So those were for our Stratford Knights. We're very proud of all of their accomplishments. As I mentioned before, they had almost 20,000 people participating, and we came back with quite a few awards to Berkeley County. So we're looking forward to everything they do for us next year, too. So thank y'all.
I say this often, but it bears repeating. It is always exciting to hear about state level winners, and we always are entertaining state level winners, but also national level winners. Very, very impressive in all different categories, from the arts to the sciences and math and speech. And so we are very, very proud of what you do for Berkeley County and putting us on the map. So thank you all for your wonderful accomplishments. So this is normally the time in the meeting where if you came to get a special recognition or you came to recognize your child, you're free to go home and do something more fun than be at a school board meeting. If you'd like to hang with us, we're going to move on to citizen comments next. But thank you all for attending. There are no citizens' comments for tonight, so we'll move on next to the teacher forum update. Ms. Sharon Blackwood.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Dr. Ingram. On behalf of Teacher Forum, thank you for this opportunity to share with you the positives from our summer leadership retreat and our goals for this upcoming year. Every year, we have a retreat, a leadership retreat for Forum in June. And this retreat serves two purposes. First, it's an opportunity for our brand new Teachers of the Year and our returning Teachers of the Year to grow in understanding what teacher leadership means for each individual, as well as to understand what it means to be a representative for their school, for our district, and for our entire profession. And during this retreat, we also take the time to plan the course for the upcoming school year. This year, as we began the retreat with the idea that you make a difference to every child every day, one child at a time. And every goal that we planned for the retreat centered around this idea. One of our professional development activities that we did during the retreat actually led us to this book, One by Catherine Natashi. And we actually have a copy here for Dr. Ingram that will pass along to him, please. It is a children's picture book that the basic message is about bullying. But since this was a professional development, we took the message to a higher level. As educators, we feel called to this profession. And we are here for one purpose, and that purpose is our children and our children's growth. But inevitably, every year there are big reds that happen to be the bully in that book that come through the school year. And we have to learn to support each other through these changes and these stressors so that we can keep our focus where it belongs, on the children and on their growth. And this book helped everyone to put that in perspective. So by the end of our retreat, the 2-day retreat, we decided that our theme this year for Forum and the message that we wanted all the educators across the district to hear is to be the one. So that ended up being our theme for this year. We continued by reviewing our vision, and we recommitted ourselves to making forward progress on each of these points, and it's very thick with many things that we wish to accomplish. And we established two main objectives. Our first objective is to create a tangible goal for committees to be able to annually gift the district or teacher forum. And the second objective is to sustain a bridge between non-conference and conference committee goals so that we can still meet all parts of the teacher forum vision. When you see that vision, there are many parts. And when we have a conference, we do not want to lose those parts that are vitally important to empowering our teachers and thus our students. So in our committees, we came up with the following goals so that teachers could continue to guide and empower their students. We're starting first with the teachers' instructional scholarships. And actually, as I was listening to the Goose Creek High Beta Club teacher, this might be something that she can apply for. The goal is to provide designated funds for teachers who apply to purchase resources or implementing learning experiences for their students. So that might be something that could help her or help their students. This is something that we began at the very end of last year, and we are continuing it this year as well. We have developed a teacher forum website. The goal is to provide ongoing communication and resources for all Berkeley County educators. And we are sending out a quarterly informational newsletter that has resources and updates to all educators. We want to support the South Carolina teacher evaluation rubric because the full implementation is next year. So we have two goals here: to provide teachers with information and opportunities to unpack that new matrix. And the second is to give teachers examples of collaborative strategies in order to engage student thinking at multiple levels. So regardless of what grade level you teach, you can leave our teacher forum meetings with strategies to take back and share at their home schools and their PLCs. Our next goal is centered around the Berkeley County educator profile. In order to recognize more best practice in the district, we have created an educator recognition based on that profile. And there are two goals. One, to recognize the educator who is exemplifying a best practice as defined by the profile in each school in the district. Now, this is different from a Teacher of the Year. The Teacher of the Year is the embodiment of many. This is the exemplification of one from the profile, that the principal and the Teacher of the Year at the school identify that person with a specific example and submit an application. It is optional, but the idea is to recognize more teachers, more educators that exemplify that best practice. The second goal with this recognition is to increase awareness and recognition of educators exemplifying that best practice. And our final goal for the year is, in collaboration with district departments, to provide a meaningful professional development day for all educators in Berkeley County School District. As you can see, Teacher Forum does many things for our educators. Berkeley County's Teacher Forum is one of the largest and most active in the state of South Carolina. And through Forum, our educators have the opportunity to grow in their profession and in their leadership, as well as be advocates for each other and our students. And we greatly appreciate y'all's continued support. Are there any questions? Okay, thank you very much.
It's always exciting to hear about our teacher leaders developing leadership skills, being examples to other teachers, and also taking that home to that single child. I love the theme, Be the One. I always say make one good decision at a time. And so that makes me think of that, be the one. You can only do the next thing. And so that is very exciting to me. So thank you, Sharon. Up next, we have Ms. Carlin with Financial Services for HVAC equipment and glass replacement.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Superintendent Ingram, and ladies and gentlemen of the board. You have before you best value bid number 518-1718 for Train HVAC equipment. This is a term contract that is going to replace the current term contract that is about to expire, and we will use this district-wide to replace existing HVAC system components as well as new construction. General funds will be used as well as capital project funds. And we are asking for a projected contract value of $500,000. So we are asking you to award BVB 518-1718 for Train HVAC equipment to Train US Incorporated for a projected contract cost of $500,000.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to award best value bid number 518, school term 1718 for Train HVAC equipment to Train US Incorporated for an annual contract price of $500,000.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Barrow, a second by Reverend Spann, to award the contract to Train US Incorporated for Train HVAC equipment for an annual contract price of $500,000, and this is award number BVB 518. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay.
Thank you. The next item you have before you, best value bid 519-1718 for glass replacement, door and window repairs. This is another term contract that is about to expire that we are trying to renew. Due to the increasing demands of our district and how quickly we're growing, we thought it was best to award to two different vendors. The funding that will be used is, of course, general fund as well as capital project funding. So we are asking you to approve the award of best value bid 519-1718 for glass replacement and door and window repairs to Manor Builder Supply and Max's Glass for a projected annual cost of $75,000.
Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to award BVB number 519-17-18 for glass replacement, door and windows repairs to Manor Builders Supply and Max Glass for the total of annual contract price of $75,000.
I'll second.
There's a motion by Reverend Spann, a second by Ms. Lee. This is for glass replacement for door and window repairs to two contractors, Manor Builder Supply and Max Glass, for a total annual contract price of $75,000, and this is award BVB 519. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Carlin. Next up, Dr. Levine, we've got a couple of policies, proficiency, and also the grievance and staff policy.
Good evening, Board Chair Wofford, members of the board, and Superintendent Ingram. A new policy, Policy BCSD Proficiency, is being brought to you through Academic Services for first reading. This policy is being presented for addition to district policies due to a regulation change by the State Department of Education. At this time, it is the recommendation of the administration to approve the first reading of Policy BCSD Proficiency as listed under Agenda Item 6A. New policy.
Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the first reading of new policy BCSD proficiency.
Second.
There's a motion by Ms. Lee, a second by Mr. Barrow to approve the first reading of this new policy BCSD proficiency. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay.
Thank you.
Passed for first reading.
Okay. Policy GAE, Staff Concerns, Complaints, and Grievances, and Exhibit GAE-E, Grievance Form, are being brought to you this evening for revision. The proposed changes to the policy clearly outline the processes and procedures for staff concerns, complaints, and grievances, and the form has been updated based on changes to the policy. It is the recommendation of the administration to approve the first reading of the revision to Policy GAE, Staff Concerns, Complaints, and Grievances, and Exhibit GAE, the grievance form, as listed under Agenda Item 6B.
I make a motion to approve the first reading of the policy GAE, Staff Concerns, Complaints, and Grievances, and Exhibit GAE-E, Grievance Form for revision.
I'll second. I yield.
A motion by Wofford, a second by Reverend Spann. Are there any questions or comments?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Levine, are there any significant changes to the prior grievance policy in terms of who the grievance goes to and how that's investigated?
Partially there is. If you look at the policy, the first one, it wasn't really outlined necessarily as to the who, but if you look at this one with the 4 steps that are listed in the policy itself now, it's very specific in terms of what should happen before even a grievance reaches a certain level. So there's definitely more specificity with it, and then also it's indicated in there some of the same things about it going to the board as a last resort as far as filing storytelling. As you're aware, at the end of a grievance, whoever listens to it initially and works on it will always send it on to the next person or tell the individual you have a certain amount of time to appeal. So that is still a part of this policy change.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate the specificity and also the timelines. I think it will help us to deliver for employees the expectation. Because sometimes when people are grieving, it's because they feel unheard. But I really appreciate the timelines where we've laid out expectations of response. I believe we had that in the past, but it wasn't as clear or in writing. And so I really feel like this will help us help employees get through the process. And also have a form, and it will be very clear. So I'm very pleased with. I know this was not a short process. I know you spent a lot of time on this process. So I'm very appreciative of the work that's been done here.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions or concerns? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. And then,
Okay.
sorry, go ahead.
You ready for the second one? Third, Administrative Rule GAE-R, Staff Concerns, Complaints, and Grievances, is being brought to you for deletion in light of the aforementioned changes to the policy. And again, I have to reiterate that this is the rule for the policy. The policy you have now contains basically what would have been considered previously the policy itself and the rule. So as such, it is the recommendation of the administration that you delete Administrative Rule GAE-R, Staff Concerns, Complaints, and Grievances as listed under Agenda Item 6C.
I move that we approve the first reading of Rule GAER, Staff Concerns, Complaints, and Grievances for deletion.
Second.
There's a motion by Wofford, a second by McQuillan. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. And Kim, you're going to have to help me because I can't see it here. Do I have it yet? That's what happens when you get older and you leave your glasses.
Both of us.
She said both of us. I did not say I was getting old. I did not say that.
There we go.
See? You're old. Awesome. It is always an honor and a privilege to present to you the information for our Human Resources update. And I will be saying hello or having some individuals who are here tonight say hello to you because I promise you this is always a team effort. And I'm going to see tonight if we pass the test that you all passed about 9 months ago, how many of us are recruiters for Berkeley County School District? Yes, yes. We've got it. So that is awesome, and that is the stance that we all take in terms of this with what we do with human resources. And I'm going to show you a first slide here. You might ask, well, why do you keep showing that to us? Something from 2010. Look at it for just a second, and you'll realize why this is so critical to us in Berkeley County and to what we do. And I want you to look at that and tell me, is that who we are? It is. Passionate, dedicated, and highly skilled staff members who are committed to lifelong learning. And that has not changed, and here we are in 2017, and that is still who we are, and that's significant. That's really important. I want you to see the information that we have about new hires, and I want you to look at from 16-17 to 17-18. Notice that first item up top, in-state teacher education programs. Do you see a difference there? Huge difference. And you've heard me talk to you in the past about the number of candidates who are coming out of college and teacher education programs in South Carolina, and the fact that basically across the state, 4,000 individuals are needed to replace individuals exiting the profession, whereas out of these programs, we have about 1,800 coming out per year. So can we say that we have our work cut out for us? But remember what we looked at on that second slide about Berkeley County School District, passionate educators, and that's what we endeavor to do and who we endeavor to bring to our district. And I know you've seen this, so I'm not going to go through all of the information you have on there, but you'll definitely have the opportunity to ask questions at the end. And if you notice also our new hires, 382 last year, 381 for this school year. So about the same in terms of where we were. Our subject areas, now these were the vacancies, and this has definitely changed, and I want to call some other things to your attention as well with this, and you see the numbers, and some of that's changed since 9-5, of course, but I want you to look at the special education one there, because you might look at that and say, oh my goodness, we have 14 special education classes that are not covered right now. Well, that's really not the case. What's going on there is, and you did us a great favor when you approved a certain number of special education allocations in the budget. We hired many special education teachers, but we knew that come January, we are going to need to hire more. So we've left those in the budget, and if you were to go to our webpage right now, you would see each location where the different vacancies are listed right now. And I am so pleased to say that we have such great partnerships that, as we said earlier, recruitment is about everybody doing everything for Berkeley County. So I'm so pleased to say that the instruction department, academic services, really works with us, and especially, and I have to give a shout out to Kelly Wolf and her department, because they were working with us on recruitment at the different colleges and universities to get the vacancies filled. So we are doing that, and we are still actively recruiting. Recruitment strategies. You see the list there. A lot of you came to the teacher recruitment fair that we have, and just several other things that we do there that focus on individuals who may not go through the traditional education route. There are some who go through PACE programs, different programs offered through the State Department of Education. And one of the things that I'd like to mention that we didn't have up here, but it's definitely a recruitment strategy. Do you remember we talked about the recruitment funds back when, and additional monies we got from the state to recruit teachers? Well, we're pleased to say that that is going well, and we have allocated the teaching bonuses to over 100 teachers who came to the district this year. And remember, it's given in two parts. Part for signing on right now for this present school year, and then there will be additional funds allocated to those same individuals for returning next school year. So we're really pleased with that. And also we have the recruitment locations that are listed there for the different areas. And we're also looking at adding some additional locations. And as I mentioned earlier, the special education department is working with us too to add different areas for that as we continue to recruit. And this is a continuation of that, the different recruitment sites. And we go all over and try to get the greatest people, the best people, the people who are passionate about our children and teaching. Just some pictures from our recruitment fair. We're always happy, and that's always a great day. And as I said, some of you attended that event with us, and we really enjoyed having you there. I want you to look at the numbers for our teacher hiring trend. And as you can see, it's gone up, down a little bit, and then back up. But we're basically at the same place this year that we were last year in terms of hiring, but we still have some additional allocations that are out there that we're hiring for. And I also want you to see it in terms of composition. And you'll see, if you look at it by gender, you'll see that most of the teachers at the elementary school level, I should say, are female. And then as you go down or across there, you'll see that you have more males as you go to high school. Also wanted you to see some numbers in terms of race and composition there. If you look at this, we have right now the numbers that you see to the left there. We have 2,470 teachers in our district at this point. And you'll see in terms of the numbers of minority teachers who are hired, a combination for the entirety of the district, about 15.2%. And these are some of the support services that are offered through our office and through the Office of Leadership Development and Evaluation. And you'll see this information on there about different sessions that are provided. I'm just going to go through it quickly. Can you tell our teachers are happy and that they're passionate? Yes. And also, if you look at the number of evaluations and what our evaluation office does to assist, I want you to know, and just to call to your attention about the Pride teachers, our Pride teachers are our new ones. They are new to the profession, and we have 149 this year, so that has improved or has increased. Diagnostic assistance means that we've identified that teachers need extra support and assistance, and they're getting that. And then we have people who are in their second induction year, and also those who are going through formal evaluation. That's the safety part there. So for this year, and it's just kind of a rehash there, formal evaluations, 214, Pride teachers, 149, and then those who are being offered assistance, 15. Because remember, it's not just about recruiting the teachers and getting them here, it's also about retaining our teachers. And then also the other workshops that we provide and information through the staff development office. And also, I have to commend you because this was your idea, school board, to provide mentors in every school. So this is what we're working on, and I'm sure you may have some questions about that later. But just in terms of the number of mentors that are provided based on the number of students who are at the school. So you can see that based on the school level there. So 1 to 1,000, one school level mentor, 1,001 to 2,002, and then above 2,000, you have 3 school level mentors. And I also wanted to list for you the number of staff members you see at the school level there. And I mentioned to you earlier about the teachers, 2,470, and then the total that we have there in terms of assistants, clerical, custodial, child nutrition. So 3,789 members at the school level. And then we have district level, but remember now, we're not just talking about the district office there for the total. We're talking about the maintenance department, special education, technology, Head Start, clerical, and custodians for those different levels. So our total there, 4,507 full-time FTEs for our district. And now, this is something, the Emergency Catastrophic Leave Program. Let me tell you just a little bit about this. It's a special program that's offered in Berkeley County, and every school district does not have this, but as you might imagine, there might be times that our staff members encounter various illnesses or catastrophic situations involving themselves or faculty members. Well, our teachers get to donate a day to the Emergency Catastrophic Leave Program at a certain point during the year, and actually we're in that process now where individuals can choose to give a day. So this is part of the benefits package is what it actually amounts to. So there have been individuals, I can tell you right now, who've experienced some dire situations, and they were able to benefit from this. There is a catastrophic leave program committee that makes the decisions. They never see who the individual is because it's basically done by letters. This person is A, that person is B, and then a decision is made by the committee as to the amount of days they get. And as you can tell, we carry over days, but look at that. The total number of requests approved this past year, 40 requests were approved. So there were 40 people, emergency, catastrophic, in situations where they actually ran out of days. And the good thing is, too, that we'll be able to carry over, I'm pretty certain, some days from this year into next year. And before I go to the questions, I would like the most wonderful department that works so hard, that works collaboratively, and that just makes the district shine and just works so hard. You know who I'm talking about. HR staff, will you please stand? And they are awesome. Now, you saw that they didn't get up and leave when you said that. The other ones here, they stayed. So you all get some cool points on that one. So they are fabulous. They do a great job. And the thing is, too, just like Sharon said earlier about teaching being a calling for these individuals in our department for HR, it's also a calling, because I have to tell you something. There are some folks among this group here. Summer vacation happens in October. Let me say it one more time. Summer vacation happens in October, and I think all of us know that summer and October don't necessarily go together, but that's what happens. So I would like to say to them in front of the group, in front of everybody, you all are awesome, and I appreciate you for everything you do. And at this time, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Question about the mentor program.
Yes, sir.
I'm assuming that this is in place in every building.
Yes, sir, and actually we're working on some of the nuances with that right now. Tria Grant she actually leads this and directed. We have a lead mentor, so one lead mentor at the district who works directly with the mentors at the school. So they get the stipend in order to do that position.
Each school has a faculty member on staff that is that mentor.
Yes, sir.
That's what you're saying.
Yes, sir, a faculty member.
And that person gets an additional stipend.
Yes, they get a stipend of
Basically,
$2,000.
Funding from the board.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Understood. So
Because there were some changes you may recall in the evaluation office. So there was a shifting of funding to that to be able to do the mentors at each school instead of having 3 mentors at the district level. So right now what we have is one mentor who basically works directly with the mentors at the school level. So it's a good
the principals select or assist in selecting these master teachers to be these mentors?
Definitely, and the thought process behind that is this. They are the ones who know who does best in their building and the ones who can give and lend that support. Now, as you might imagine now, I did mentoring also, did that a long time, and it takes very special people to do that too, as you know, Mr. Barrow, because of your work and things that you've done. It just takes some very special people to do that, and I know that principals are the ones who are best at knowing who they need to have doing that.
Could you may not have the information. I'd like to know the 10-day enrollment count, the number of students we had increased from one year last year to this year.
Okay, yes, so we can definitely get that for you. It will be on the, and actually we did something different this year too, Mr. Barrow. We also did a 12-day count. And why did we do that? We did it because it came the day after Labor Day, and we just wanted to see if there was a change there.
Marked increase, wasn't it?
We wanted to, we'll look back and we'll share that with you, but we just want to make sure that we had it all in check, because as you recall, it was a little bit different this year. We had the eclipse day, let's see, which would have been day number 3 if we had gone to school. So there was the eclipse day, and then the following week, and things were a little bit different. So we want to make sure we get our numbers right and get our counts right, because we know that that's how we allocate and that's what we do our budget on. So at some locations we did see quite significant growth, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Dr. Levine, on your 381 new hired, on a percentage rate, how many of those are new hired and how many are transfer out?
Let's see.
Are they transferred out or new growth, I should say?
New growth.
What percentage of it is due to new growth? And then what percentage is due to transfer teachers?
Well, let's look back. I'll tell you what, let's look back at this slide. It kind of outlines, and I'm sorry I'm having to go back so far.
I was looking at it.
And this kind of delineates, I think that may be what you're asking for, Reverend Span.
I'm asking for the percentage of, from that 381, what percentage of it is due to new growth? And what percentage is due to transfer out?
Okay, you're talking about the new allocations then?
I'm talking about the 381 new teachers you hired.
Okay, well, I can give you the numbers. I can give you the breakdown of it in terms of percentages there for you, in terms of the actual hires. It sounds like you're asking about what our retention rate is overall.
So I think,
Part of it.
how many new teachers? I think it's 40 and 47 new allocations, and then the rest were to cover retirements and attrition. I think, how many people are in attrition and how many people are new teachers?
And that's what I can do. I can give that to you as a breakdown, but yeah, we had a certain number of new allocations because we did 9 for secondary. We did 9, and help me out, Susan, make sure I've got the number, 9 for secondary. We did 9 for elementary. For special education overall, help me out, Kelly. How many did we do? We did 12 overall for that. So basically, if we add those two together, we got the 18 plus the 12, which would be the 30. Oh, and I have the numbers, by the way, when we have the count, I'll give you that too.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kim.
I have a couple more questions.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned the percentage of minorities of students. That was 15.2, I think.
For the total, if you look at it in terms of percentage of minority or non-white teachers in the district.
Correct. What is the percentage of the minority students in relationship to that?
Total minority students.
To the total amount.
I mean, in terms of the relationship to that, I can tell you right now, there's definitely higher in terms of students, but the exact number, what we would have to do is look at the count, and I can give you actually an exact number based on that, because when we look at it in Power School, it's broken down in terms of race. So I could give you that.
Okay. One other question, I'll be through.
Yes, sir.
All the time.
Take your time.
Thank you, ma'am. In our human resources, do we do anything for decease of a teacher in the district at the district level when that occur, or any of the workers in the district?
Nothing specific that we do through the HR department itself. All the time, I can tell you there have been several situations in the district where we've contributed, and some of it has even been online. But what I've seen more often are the schools having what they call sometimes sunshine funds or sunshine clubs, in which individuals do things at the school level to recognize when someone's passing. And they're more familiar, of course, with the family. And then there are times I have connections to several schools in the district, so when I learn of someone passing, learn of the birth of babies, different things like that, we do it based on who we know.
Yes, ma'am. Do we share that with the board or at the board meeting if you have a teacher that passed away? Do we have anything on the board level?
I'm not sure about that. That's something I'd have to go through the superintendent, for, and usually I think the superintendent passes information on to you all in a weekly report, so I don't know if that's something that you all were getting previously or something you wanted.
Well, we need to be recognized. I would think if we have the loss of a teacher or administrative staff, it should be recognized in the board meeting or something. For memorial of the family and so forth. Something maybe we can look at later on. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
You're quite welcome. All right, any other questions? And I have to say to you all, thank you so much for your support and all that you do to support our children and to support our faculty and staff. You all are greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Dr. Levine.
So are you.
Thank you.
Next up is the superintendent report. Dr. Ingram.
Thank you, Madam Chair and board members. The first thing I want to announce are the makeup days. We have preset makeup days in our calendar, and unfortunately the storm took all three of them. So the makeup days doesn't require your action because you previously approved the calendar last year. October 16th, March 19th, and March 30th, and we'll keep our fingers crossed that we don't have any more inclement weather. I certainly hate to use them right out of the gate, but we didn't have a lot of choice. And of course, we always monitor the weather closely. I do want to thank Sharon and the Teacher Forum for such a good report. It is true that we are a family. And it kind of ties in with what Dr. Levine was saying, that there's an article by Charlotte Danielson, who's out of Stanford University, that argues that there are actually more than enough licensed teachers in this country to fill every job, but they're choosing not to teach. And it's not just money. It is how we treat our family members. And I really believe that in my personal philosophy that we really have to treat people well and treat people with dignity and respect. Even when we have to do things that aren't so pleasant, we can still treat people with dignity and respect. And that kind of ties in with Board Member Span's point. We did lose a staff member. I think we communicated that through Penny. I asked her to send it to you. Mr. Red Wright took a turn for the worse, unfortunately, and passed away Sunday, day before yesterday. He was found unresponsive the week before in his car. His longtime maintenance worker. He was revived by the maintenance staff. Things were looking up. Mr. Jackson has been kind enough to go see him. He was doing okay, we thought, and he took a turn for the worse. So we cannot overemphasize the importance of the sanctity of human life because the most important asset that we have in any organization is its people. So forgive me for the diatribe, but I thought all those points were very well taken, and we certainly want to remember the human factor of what we do and take that seriously. On a lighter note, I've been able to visit 41 schools so far. Got 4 more to go, and I should reach my 30-day goal of having visited all the schools. I've seen all the football teams play except for Goose Creek and Phillips Simmons. I think I'm supposed to go to Phillips Simmons Thursday, and another game on Friday. Monday I'll be out of town. Fortunately, it's a personal note. My house closes. I've got to sign the papers, and I'm squeezing in an eye appointment. Hopefully he can zap this thing floating around in my eye. It makes me look like I got a fly in my eye. But I just want to thank the community for being so supportive, the staff. The next phase of my 90-day entry plan is to visit all of the support facilities. Mr. Jackson tells me there are 11 of them. So I've got those to go to and continue to interview staff members and build relationships with, starting with principals, but also with senior cabinet level and also support staff in the district level and at the school level. Leadership is all about relationships. And I'll always spend time developing those and earning trust. But these are very intentional actions, and we won't be backing off of those. And Chairwoman Wofford and I have talked about a retreat. We'll be discussing dates for that. Got a couple of ideas. The weather has sort of gotten in the way, but we'll schedule that as soon as we can. And I have had breakfast and lunch meetings with 3 board members so far, and anxious to meet with the rest of you. We'll get that on the calendar as soon as we can. And Madam Chair, that concludes my report for the night.
Thank you, sir. We do need to talk about board workshops. Is it possible to pick a work day, if we pick it far enough in advance, to dedicate an 8-hour day?
During the day?
During the day? Not possible. Not possible.
As long as I'm not playing golf.
As long as you're not golfing. We also have the month of November and December traditionally are only one meeting. So we'll look at those days as well. If you have a particular night or day that doesn't work, how about let me know, and we're going to throw out some days that do. We're just trying to be creative, trying to avoid a Saturday during football season. And priorities. No, just wanting to have enough time to really adequately dig in, have some good facilitated conversations, do some goal setting, more than a 2 or 3 hour event. So we're trying to space out some time to do that. And we may do that in 2 times if we need more time. So we'll work through that, coming up with a day. The other dates that are coming up are December 1st through 3rd. At the Charleston Marriott is the Legislative Advocacy and Delegate Assembly. We don't have limited attendance, but we generally like to have at least a representative who will vote our votes and back up for that delegate. So if you're interested in attending, let me know. We'll be looking for at least 2 people to attend.
What's the date again?
December 1st through 3rd at the Charleston Marriott, and that'll be the South Carolina School Board Association Legislative Advocacy. Essentially, the School Board Association will set their legislative priorities, and the body of the School Board Association will vote to decide what different points of advocacy they will push in the legislation in the upcoming year for this at the state level. So we are a large district. We do hold quite a few votes, so we would like to be represented there. All right, moving on, we'll now entertain a motion to enter into executive session.
So move.
Second, there's a motion by Reverend Spann, a second by Wofford, to enter into executive session for the discussion of a pending employment matter to hear 7 attendance appeals. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Nay. We are in executive session. Is there a motion to return to regular session?
So move.
Second. There's a motion by McQuillan, second by Wofford, to return to regular session. I'd like to note that no action was taken in executive session. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Nay. We are back in regular session. Now we'll entertain action as required from executive session. We will now hear a motion for student attendance appeal number 1.
Madam Chair, in the matter of student number 1, I move that we grant the attendance appeal.
Second.
Student number 1, motion by McQuillan, second by Ramsey, to grant the appeal. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Nay.
Nay.
Oh, we're going to have to vote. All right. All in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Motion passes. We'll entertain students number 2 and 3 in the same motion. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, in the matter of students number 2 and 3, I move that we grant the attendance appeals.
Second.
There's a motion by McQuillan, a second by Mr. Ramsey, to grant the appeal of students 2 and 3. All in favor, please respond by raising your hand. Opposed? The motion passes. Student number 4 will be handled administratively by staff. We'll now entertain a motion for student number 5.
Madam Chair, in the matter of student number 5, I move that we deny the appeal.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McQuillan, a second by Mr. Ramsey, to deny the appeal of student number 5. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Nay. 9-0, the motion passes. Student number 6.
Madam Chair, in the matter of student number 6, I move that we deny the attendance appeal.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McQuillan, a second by Mr. Barrow, to deny the appeal of student number 6. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Nay. 9-0, the motion passes. Last, student number 7. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I make a motion we deny the appeal.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Barrow, a second by Mr. Wright, to deny the appeal of student number 7. All in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Motion passes. Is there any other, I wrote the wrong number. Is there any other action as needed from executive session? Hearing none, we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McQuillan, a second by Mr. Wright. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Nay. We are adjourned.